Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Seth again with TrueSeed, and I'm really happy to be back with you guys. Now, today, what we're going to be talking about is something that I think is really crucial. It's one of the fundamental pieces of your business that you should take very seriously. Now, if you don't know anything about us, we are a founder-led sales enablement firm that is strictly focused on helping entrepreneurs, intrapreneurs, business owners, founders of the like, understand how to scale in revenue. How do you hit your first million? How do you hit your first 10 customers? It doesn't matter. This is a channel for you all to learn the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s of B2B sales. So today, what we're talking about is for all of you folk who have already started to sell. Maybe you're post-revenue, maybe you're even pre-revenue. If you're never telling a potential customer that this may not be the best fit, you're getting ready to run into a brick wall, or you're already hitting that brick wall. One of the biggest reasons why early stage founders struggle with sales is because their targeting is really loose or it's just completely undocumented. I can't tell you how many times I've asked a founder or an entrepreneur, who exactly are you selling to? Usually I get an answer like, we're selling to tech startups or small businesses, or, we are selling to grocery stores or barbershops. That is not an ICP. And for everyone that doesn't know, ICP means ideal customer profile. That is what ICP means. It is largely used in B2B environments. If you don't define exactly who your product is built for, which is your ICP, then you're going to burn a ton of leads. You're going to burn a lot of time. Also just resources in general, trying to make round pegs fit in square holes. So in this video, I'm actually going to walk you through the exact ideal customer profile worksheet that we use for our clients at TrueSeed, and founders who are learning how to close deals, not just build products or craft services. Everything in your go-to-market lives and dies by the quality of your ICP. This ICP is actually a document that lives inside of your sales playbook. And if you didn't check out the video where we talked about a wake-up call for founders, then go ahead and check that out. I will link that in the description for you below. This is not just a sales thing. This is really a document that needs to be used for all functions across your business. Your marketing team should be pulling copy and campaign angles directly from your ICP. Your content strategy should start here. The language on your website, the ads you run, the email copy that you put together, that should be coming from your ICP. Even your product roadmap. Think about the future of the product in a year from now. That should be rooted in the pain points and the goals that are defined inside of your ICP. So if it's not documented, I just want you all to know it's not real. If you have this information in your head and you're like, oh, we have stuff like that, or maybe it's in like a marketing folder, that's not your ICP. There should be a document specifically inside of your sales playbook that says ICP. So your job as a founder, right? I want you to remember this. Your job as a founder is to make sure that you're revisiting this and making sure that you are reiterating as you go along, right? This should be a living, breathing document that's getting better. And if it's not revised, then it's outdated. Okay. So your job is to continually refine, sharpen the ICP, because really the more accurate it gets, the easier it becomes to grow. So you want to know exactly who to talk to, what to say, and how to close these deals. Let me go ahead and pull this up so you guys can see exactly what you all should be using as you are building this out. Now, I'm going to also get you all a copy of our sales playbook. So if you want that, please reach out to us, because the ICP lives within the sales playbook that has maybe 7 to 8 different modules of information that makes up your whole sales playbook. This is just where we always start, no matter with what. No matter what you have, we need to always come back to this. And there's a lot of reasons for that. So make sure that you go through our website, either email us at info@trueseed.com or go to our website and let us know that you need the sales playbook. All right, cool. So let's look at this and really break it down. So as you can see, your ICP is a detailed strategic representation of your company's most valuable customer. This goes beyond simple demographics. That includes company size, industry, pain points, goals, decision-making structure, and technology usage. I know it's a lot. Completing this will help you align your sales, marketing, and product strategy around the customers most likely to drive growth. Now, again, if you're a small business, you're pre-revenue, you haven't closed any deals yet, you're probably thinking, oh, well, we need a lot of information in order for us to build this out. Absolutely false. That is a myth. Go ahead and cancel that out of your mind right now. And maybe you're someone that says, hey, we already have some information like this. We know who we're selling to. Trust me, again, in the world of sales, this is the type of language that you have to create, because if it's not detailed out like this, you're probably missing the mark somewhere. All right. Don't just try to wing sales. Be smart about it. Take it from someone that has closed over $18 million in revenue across inbound deals, outbound deals, and now has taught over 400 founders on how to become scalable and duplicatable across their sales motion. Okay. So your company characteristics is where this starts. First, you have to understand the business profile. It's all about who gets the most value and who is most likely to buy. So we have some tips here. Like, think about who your product delivers the most value to. Is that a certain industry? What's the size of your ideal customer's company in terms of revenue and number of employees? Okay. So are they scrappy? Is it a solo team? That's really important for lots of reasons. Company attributes. So this is where you need to understand how the company actually moves, how they make decisions. If you don't, then you're going to be lost in the sea of politics across the company. You really want to make sure that you understand the difference between centralized and decentralized decision making. Centralized means that it's quick executive buy-in, and decentralized means that there's usually multi-threading required. Multi-threading means that you probably have to have multiple people on an email that needs to see the communications of the progression of the deal as it moves along. Okay. Now, if they are B2B, B2C, go ahead and list that out. You may not know all this information. That's completely okay. Now, I do want to touch base on something that's really important. You can use AI to help you create the first draft of this. What you probably want to put in as a prompt, as an example, is, hey, this is my website. This is the company that I'm building. This is a service that I want to bring to market. This is who we serve, and this is what we do. Can you help me as a fractional sales director or a sales director come up with an ICP layout based off of these questions? And it's going to give you a very rough draft. Now, your AI language is not the language that you should always go to market with. It's really easy to detect, and customers always want to feel exclusive. They want to feel as if whoever is speaking to them, that this product is made directly for them. So be very careful. If you want us to review your ICP, we do that, and we can give you that information to help you tailor and refine what you already have. Cool. So moving on to technology adoption. What we're talking about here is the maturity of their use of technology and how your product or service will fit into their day-to-day workflow. You don't want to try to sell something that isn't going to easily fit into how they do things. Are these people early adopters? Are they slower to adopt new tools? The demographic that you're selling to, what generation are they? Are they millennials? Are they boomers? That all really matters in how you position yourself. Because if you're trying to sell a very advanced tech product to a baby boomer, then you're probably not going to have a lot of success if there's not a lot of education. What tools are they already using? And then we get to challenges and pain points. And this is really where all the money resides. This is where the money resides. If you can't clearly describe their problem better than they can, they are not going to trust you to solve it. They're not going to trust you to solve it. So you want to list the tactical pains, like strategic pains, lost revenue, slowed growth, whatever it may be. You really want to make sure that your outbound copy, your decks, your calls, all of them should scream this section here. You should be talking to the prospect about this, their pain. Now, the way that you introduce this in your sales conversations is completely different than the way that you write this down. Again, we talk about how your discovery calls and just natural conversations, what's really being asked by customers are, can we trust this person? Can we trust this service? And the only way you can really build trust is if someone feels like you're listening to them. Therefore, you have to ask a lot of questions. And so these conversations that you're having should be very client centric. You should be thinking about how to diagnose and understand the world that your potential customer is experiencing and what they've done and what they haven't done. And if you want to learn more about discovery calls, we've got a video coming out and you'll see that on our page really soon. A great question for you to ask yourself is, how do the challenges that they're facing in their day-to-day operations impact their overall business goals? What are the strategic consequences? Again, like lost revenue, maybe it's churn. It really depends on your service. It depends on who you're selling to. The answers can vary, but we still need to know. Another question is, what specific pain points do our ideal customers experience that our product or service can address? So here you want to highlight the problems that your product directly solves, okay? And then you want to ask yourself, how can we alleviate their pain points and add significant value? So what transformation will your customers experience after working with you? And as you can start to see, by having these answers is probably giving you a couple of light bulbs that are going off, because you're figuring out what language you can be using inside of your conversations, and also maybe just in your marketing, that can lead to higher conversion. Now, the goals and objectives section naturally builds right after the pains and challenges, because this is where you match their dreams to your outcomes. Okay, this is exactly what they want. They don't want to just talk about what's broken. They want to make sure that the outcomes and the dreams that they have are realistic. How does the product or service contribute to their goal achievement? You want to be really specific about the results, benefits that you can deliver. You want to be able to tie in emotion. Maybe you're selling to managers who are needing to speed up the process of data upload. So then you would talk about how you're helping managers be relieved of stress or be relieved of time consuming tasks that take them away from more strategic goals that they can be focused on, making not only their day, their life, their work environment better, faster, but it allows them to focus on other needs of the business that need more attention. Now, what strategic objectives or initiatives are common amongst our ideal customers? This is really key, because you don't want to be looked at just as a vendor. If you want long-term success and you want the lifetime value of your customers to be extensive, then you really want to position yourself as a partner, not just a vendor. So the way that we do that is we match our services to these strategic objectives and outcomes, and we want to make sure that they understand, hey, we're in it for the long run. So you have to think about digital transformation, customer retention, hiring, automation. How do we grow together? How do you see us being together, working together throughout the next year, 3 years, 5 years? And then how can we align our offerings today with their strategic objectives? So this is going to make you into an expert about knowing who your customer is, what they want to achieve, and what they're experiencing right now that's preventing them from doing that. This is how you start to speak their language and position your product as a key enabler of their success. Okay. So that's where your money making is. That's where your marketing is. That's where your sales conversations are really rooted. Now, the decision-making process is equally as important, because you want to know exactly who is holding the decision authority for moving forward. You're not selling to a person, you're selling to a process. That means you have to understand who signs, who slows the process down, and exactly what that person cares about. You want to identify who controls the budget, who uses the product, and what are the differences between those people. Because someone might be evaluating this product for their team, or someone on a team might evaluate this product, but your language to the end user, whoever's using this product, may be different than the language you're going to use for the person evaluating the product for their team. Maybe you're just selling to the person who's going to use your service or your product, and that's it. And that's perfect. Still understand, what is that decision-making process? Usually in B2B, in enterprise environments, there's like 7 stakeholders, but I want you all to just assume that there's always someone else that could be helping to make the decision, because we want to know that in case we need to bring them into the conversation as well. Okay. You want to know what they prioritize, right? Do they prioritize speed, cost, support, return on investment? So the deal is not closed when someone likes it. The deal is closed when the right person says yes. That is when the deal is closed. Competitive landscape, if we just scroll down here, because this gets a little bit more into the decision-making criteria. Competitive landscape, of course, is understanding who are the current solution providers that your ideal customers are using, and how can you use this to your advantage by understanding who's out there and what they're offering and how you all are different. You can see here, question 20 says, what sets our product and service apart from the competitor? This is really great when you're teaching someone how to sell, maybe for your company or even for yourself to just role play, because you're going to get objections about other services or other providers. So you want to be able to have a framework on how you answer those questions. You're not just selling your product, you're selling a new choice. It's a different way to think about it, but that really means knowing who else is on their radar and why they haven't bought yet. If you think that you're the only person or service or product they're evaluating, that is called sales ignorance. Everyone is always looking at multiple options until they decide on who they're mutually going to be exclusive to. Now, you don't need to trash your competitors. You just need to show the gap that they're not closing. Is there anything else that you can do to set yourself up as the preferred choice? And then that helps to craft your strategic positioning based on credibility, outcomes, and innovation. All right. So this document here is 5 pages. Again, you can throw this in AI. It's going to give you a lot of great information that you can start studying today. And based off of the vertical that you're selling into, because remember, we asked what industries or sectors do our ideal customers operate in. As you select one, if you have more than one, you're going to select one and you're going to run with that industry, i.e. vertical, for the rest of your answers throughout this worksheet. Okay. Now, if you have another vertical or industry that you know your product will sell really well in, you're going to duplicate this tab, right? Duplicate it here and name that tab the industry, because ICP can get very layered. What your challenges and pain points are for your ICP in healthcare will not be the same pains and challenges for your ICP in finance, for example. They are going to have completely different challenges, maybe similar goals, but you want to be as specific as possible every single time that you walk into a conversation or your language or product is in front of an ICP. Why? Because the ICP is supposed to make your ICP raise their hand and say, wow, that is for us. We need this right now. This isn't made for anyone else. We have found exactly what it is that we're looking for. I'm so glad to be here talking to you because you're helping me find the answer to my problems. So as an early stage startup or business owner just starting out, I suggest focusing on 1, maximum 2 verticals, because it can get very complex and your attention divided across multiple industries all at one time makes your approach very wide versus very focused. And this is the difference between us hitting the bullseye versus us just hitting the board. Okay. So we want to really be focused. Once we've closed enough deals and we've had repeatable success with closing that ICP, then we can start focusing on expanding into the market and opening ourselves to the other verticals that we could sell to. But as of now, if you haven't closed $1 million in revenue or closed your first 10 customers and you don't have that repeatable sales process down, just stick to one and test that out. Again, if you want feedback on your ICP, we're happy to talk to you a little bit more and give you some feedback on your go-to-market strategy. In our next video, we're going to talk about buyer personas, and we're also going to share a little bit more about the other components of your sales playbook that you need to have in place. But I hope you all find extreme value in this video. This is TrueSeed. Really excited to share more with you guys and hope you have a great rest of your day.